Hello, good afternoon, welcome. Roaster 2 is already on here. In fact, there's 3 of you already here. Brilliant. Hello and welcome. We have just had the draw for the FA Cup first qualifying round, which means that all the teams from Step 3 of the non-league pyramid or the 7th tier of English football have dropped into the competition. That includes everyone in the Southern League Premier Division Central, who I'm going to be featuring on this channel this season. So, has anyone had a chance to have a look at the first qualifying round fixtures yet? There's a few that I've picked out. Hi, in my matchday vlog title, it says my other channel. Yeah, Roaster 2, I think, yeah, Bristol City fan, aren't you? There's some interesting ties. I think a lot of people are saying that the pick of the first qualifying round ties is Atherton LR against Atherton Collieries, which is hard to argue, really. For me, it's all about the Southern Premier League sides coming in. Football Addict with a new name. Yeah, I remember that's your channel. I just couldn't remember your channel name off the top of my head there. So we got some interesting ties. I'm really torn. I think I'm going to go to Matlock Town against Bottersford Town, simply because I followed Bottersford Town in last year's FA Cup. I had them for 4 rounds. My other channel, I do football skits. Sounds good. I watched Hallam beat City of Liverpool yesterday at the world's oldest football stadium in Sandygate. Hallam got drawn against Ashton United, another home tie, which is going to be a fantastic one. If some of these get moved, I'm hoping some of these get moved so I can do a couple of FA Cup ties that weekend. Let's have a look. Womwell Town, newcomers to the FA Cup, still in the FA Cup. They've won their first ever games in the FA Cup. When was the Ballon d'Or leaked? I want Hallam to do well. I think they might do. They looked solid yesterday. I mean, City of Liverpool, the first half was dull. The first half was one of the most boring halves of football. After the opening 5 minutes, the first half was really dull. But in the second half, they just controlled the game. City of Liverpool hit the post at 2-0, but otherwise they didn't really offer a great deal going forward. My matchday vlog will be going out in an hour. You'll be able to see that as there was a goalkeeper error for the first goal. Hallam just very assured of themselves in that tie, and they've got another tie against Ashton United, who I think Ashton United might be the league above them. They might be Step 3. I think they might be in Gainsborough Trinity's league. So let me know if you know what league Ashton United are in. So the Spanish FA rigged it, and my friend was saying it's rigged, and tomorrow I'm doing a part 2 at my friend's house of the Ballon d'Or. Ashley is Australian, so I like quite a few clubs, English/Australian. WLB says they're the Northern Prem. Thank you for that. I thought they were. That's Gainsborough's league, isn't it? Northern Premier League, Premier Division. There's so many people on here with a lot of good football knowledge, probably rivaling mine, to be fair. What teams do you like, Ashley? Edward's Footy Predictions. I love the new channel name. It gives you that identity. It gives you that new identity. I love it. And you've changed the channel name early, so it won't harm your place in the algorithm. Edward's Footy Predictions says, what's up? Thanks for joining. Good to have you on, as always. So, Hallam play Ashton United. So it was supposed to be Kelly and Dembele, but it ended up being Yamal and Bonmati. Has the Ballon d'Or been decided yet? We've got Hyde United against Prescott Cables. Womwell Town newcomers have made it to the first qualifying round. They've got Stocksbridge Park Steels, which is a really difficult tie. Ballon d'Or September, I thought it was. Ashley says Blackpool. I used to live in Crawley, so I like them. I like Worthing. I lived there as well. That's fair enough. So I know that Roaster was at Bristol City. I was at Colville on Saturday, and then obviously Hallam yesterday. Does anyone know who Hensford play? I wasn't able to watch the draw. Yes, they've got one of my local teams. I believe it's Baseford. Yeah, Hensford Town play Baseford United. So they've got one of my local sides at home. Hyde United were once in the same league as Luton and Lincoln. National League, wasn't it? We've got Workington play Stalybridge Celtic or Bury. What a tie that'll be. Warrington Town against Bamber Bridge. We've had one team resign, Widnes, who were in the 7th tier, but they resigned after the FA Cup entrants were accepted. So it means Congleton Town are already into the second qualifying round. They're the first team outside the 6th tier to already be in the second qualifying round. Morecambe got saved. Yes, they did. That is amazing. And I mean, they're probably still going to get relegated, aren't they, Morecambe, because they haven't really got a squad. Did you know Bamber Bridge once had a friendly against Czechia? No, I didn't. You've got all the stats, haven't you? You've got all of the stats. You've got Lancaster City against Whitby Town is going to be a really good tie. I wish I could go and watch. I wish I could go and watch all of these ties, honestly. Ashley says, I saw Crawley play before they went in the league, and I used to watch the Rebels before they came to the 3rd tier or conference. Yeah, they both clubs have done really well, haven't they? Both clubs have done well. Avro play Nantwich Town, Morpeth Town against Pontefract Collieries, Rossington Main against FC United of Manchester. Now that's going to be a hell of a tie. What a tie for Rossington Main, sat in the 9th tier, playing against 7th tier FC United. We've got Redditch United against Skegness Town or Lincoln United. That's a big tie. It does sound like a Welsh place, yeah. Hanley Town against Stourbridge. Hanley Town beat Belper United in the extra preliminary round at the weekend. I watched Belper United win their first ever tie in the FA Cup. Newark and Sherwood United or Boston Town, against Sporting Calcer. Matlock Town against Bottersford Town. What a tie. I've been meaning to go up to Matlock for quite some time now, as I played there when I was younger. One of the most intimidating grounds I've ever played at was Matlock Town. And they've got one of my favourite teams in the FA Cup. It's Matlock Town against Bottersford Town. Can Bottersford cause a shock against the team? I think Matlock are only one league above them now. I think they're in the 8th tier. So they could produce a shock there. Eastwood Community play Grimsby Borough. We've got Coleshill Town against Worcester Raiders. Harbour Town against Leek Town. Local to me, the most local club to me in the FA Cup is Carlton Town. They've got Cleethorpes Town. Again, I wish I could go to all of these because I'm going to have to let somebody down. Evesham United against Bromsgrove Sporting is the pick of the round for me. Two Worcestershire sides. They do play in different divisions. Evesham got put in the Southern League Premier South, and Bromsgrove are in the Southern League Premier Central, but they're not very far apart. I'm baffled as to why Evesham got put in that Southern League Premier South. That just goes to show how little I know about the Northwest England. I mean, I'm not sure many people outside of the area know where Pontefract is, so I wouldn't beat yourself up about that. Former Derby player Connor Washington plays there. Worthing are the Rebels. Do you know who Yate Town have? I don't know who Yate Town have, but that's near you in Bristol way, isn't it, Yate? So we've got Alvechurch against Barwell is an all Southern League Premier Central tie. Alvechurch taking on Barwell in the first qualifying round. Long Eaton United near me, very close to where I live, are playing Kettering Town. What a tie that is for Long Eaton, and that's going to be a difficult one for Kettering to go there. Hensford Town against Baseford United. We got Halesowen Town play Stratford Town. Again, it's an all Southern League Premier Central tie. Quorn, new to the Southern League Premier Central, play Sherwood Colliery of a couple of leagues difference. Then there's Ilkeston Town of the Northern Premier League against Spalding United, Southern Premier Central. So good ties there, some really good ties there. Worcester City taking on Chase Town. And can anyone remember that Chase Town Cup run? In fact, 2 cup runs Chase Town had in the FA Cup in the early 2000s. Hot take, Real Bedford make a big cup run. Yeah, hard to disagree there. I haven't actually seen yet who Real Bedford have been drawn against, so I'll get to that in a second. Hensford have started the season really well in their 21-team league. Whereabouts are they in the table? They did play Cardiff, yeah, they did. My old teammate, Lee Evans, played in goal for Chase Town when they played Cardiff. Yeah, he played with me at Bromsgrove. He was first choice keeper. I was about third choice keeper. And he moved to Chase Town just before they had that really big cup run against Cardiff. And I think they were ahead against Cardiff as well, weren't they? Remember when Marine played Tottenham? Yeah, I made a video about cup runs. There's a few videos on my channel about FA Cup runs. Let's have a look. Stamford against Coventry Sphinx. Corby Town against Gainsborough Trinity. We've got Rushall Olympic against Atherstone Town. Bourne Town against Shepshire Dynamos. Really good opportunity for one of those two to get into the second qualifying round. Second qualifying round, of course. The teams who win these ties could potentially play my team, Hereford, in the second qualifying round, because that's when all the sides from the National League North and South come in. Ashley says, I kind of like Farnham because of Hugo. He's funny. I didn't know of them before this year. I didn't look at lower leagues for a few years. That's fair enough. Rouster 2 are making a video about Birmingham and Wrexham about how disgraceful they are. I mean, they've both got huge budgets, haven't they? Birmingham, Wrexham. How do we think they're going to do, by the way, in the Championship this season? Surely they're not both going to go up, are they? So Brentwood Town against Leighton Town. Malden and Tiptree are a side that have had a cup run in the past. Recently, they beat Leighton Orient. Or they lost. Did they beat Leighton Orient, or did they get knocked out by Leighton Orient? I know they had a really good cup run. A lot of money behind them now. They're playing Canvey Island. We've got, what other ties have we got here? Great Wakering or Redbridge against Royston Town. Redbridge also had a good cup run a few years ago. Wrexham won't go up. No, I don't think Wrexham will go up. Not this season. I think they'll build a squad that's good enough to go up in a few seasons. I think Ryan Reynolds will get Wrexham to the Premier League, but it's not going to be for a couple of years. Beat Leighton Orient, lost to Newport. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember if they beat Leighton Orient or if they lost to Leighton Orient. I knew they got to something like the second round. Isaac Price was good on Saturday. It's an ice cream van just pulled up outside my house. I'm just going to close the door. Really annoying noise. So, Real Bedford have been drawn against Bishop Stortford. So, 2 teams from the Southern League Premier Central. Real Bedford have had a really hard start. They lost at Hales Owen at the weekend. And Bishop Stortford, who I tipped to go down, are sitting top of the Southern League Prem Central with 9 points out of 9. What do I know? Brightlingsea Regent against Bury Town. I think that's a bit of a derby. There's another channel that I'm good friends with who goes to both of those clubs. The footy channel Groundhopper, if you want to go and check him out, he does match vlogs as well. I actually met him at Cambridge City a few weeks ago. For the Ballon d'Or leaked part 2, my friend is going on a fake Piers Morgan and I will run on the pitch at Barcelona men and women's games. Bishop Stortford do look good. Who have they played though? I was talking about this to someone earlier. I can't remember who they've played. Have they come up against any of the top sides yet? Billericay Town, remember when they had all the money? They're playing Barton Rovers. Aveley against #United. That's the first page of fixtures. There is 112 ties in the FA Cup first qualifying round. So there's a lot of those to get through. I love the FA Cup. If you haven't seen it already, most of you probably have. Last year, I went to an extra preliminary round tie next to my house. I followed the winners through every round, and then I watched every single game in that path until the FA Cup final, where I sat in the Manchester City end and watched them lose to Crystal Palace. We've got Berkhamsted against St Ives Town. That's another Premier Central side. Bromsgrove, Sudbury, Stamford. That's a difficult start, though, for Stortford, and they've got 3 points from there. I mean, I'd expect them to beat Sudbury, but beating Bromsgrove and Stamford haven't started as well as I thought they were going to. And what about Quorn? Has anyone seen how well Quorn have started in that league? That's a club I know really well. I know quite a few people at Quorn, and they are one of my favourite clubs. Even I didn't expect them to have 7 points from the first 3 games. Ashley says, I'd like to see Real Bedford go up and play Bedford Town. Yeah, it will be interesting. I think their grounds sit like that, back to back on against each other. WLB, Quorn won 5-2 against Stratford. They did. Roaster 2 says, I feel like Quorn will be in the National League in 8 years. The trouble is with Quorn is the location. They are a proper village club. Quorn itself has only got a population of about 5,000. So it's difficult for them to get the crowds in. They're very well funded side. Hensford have 9 points from 3 games and a top of the 7th division. They're doing really well. They just came up last season as well, didn't they? Have you seen the Irish guy for a short? He made a video where he tore a laptop to shreds. I haven't seen it, but I can imagine. Same with Barwell, small village. Yeah, it's only a month till I'm at Barwell. Barwell on the 20th of September. I can't remember who you're playing. It might be Harborough, but I'll be there with my ranking because I decided I was going to do this challenge after the fixtures had been released, and I'd already decided I was going to a few places. I haven't really been to that many of the grounds that I wanted to go to. So next month, I'm going to make a real push to try and get to a load of them. I'm trying to interview all of the managers as well. Yeah, trying to get an interview with all of the managers. I've spoken to Ryan Bessick at Quorn, spoken to Daryl Knights at Stourbridge, hoping to speak to Russ, I think it's Russ Penn at Halesowen on Monday, and I can't remember what the Worcester boss is called, but let's see. Hensford won the 8th Division playoffs last season. That's quite some rise then. Doncaster and Carlisle won the National League playoffs in the season after they won League Two. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's not much difference between the National League and League Two. Let's have a look at some of these other FA Cup ties. Histon. Does anyone remember Histon in the FA Cup a few years ago when they beat Leeds? Shocked Leeds United. They've been drawn against Mulbarton Wanderers, who I haven't heard of. We've got AFC Sudbury against Mildenhall Town. I think that is another derby. Edwards Footy Prediction says I could see Macclesfield in League One in the next 15 years. Oh, it'll be much sooner than that. They'll be in the National League next year or the year after. I think Macclesfield will be there much quicker than that. What game am I going to on Bank Holiday Monday? I'm going to watch Halesowen Town against Worcester City. It'll be my first trip to Halesowen to watch the Yelts. They came 3rd in the National League one season. I think maybe sooner. Yeah, I think Macclesfield are going to go up a bit sooner than that. 15 years was Hereford's plan to get back to the Football League, and we're on our 9th season and we're still in the National League North. WLB says big crowds at Halesowen. Yeah, there should be for Bank Holiday Monday as well, particularly as they've got Worcester there. I'm looking forward to it, really looking forward to it, and I still think Halesowen will win the title. Looking good. So we've got Aylesbury Vale Dynamos against St Albans City. Needham Market play Tilbury. Haventon Waterlooville against Chichester City. They've both had rich histories in the FA Cup. Edwards Footy Predictions. Well, there's only 2 divisions for you to go up then, though. Yeah. It's Yeah, it's going to be difficult. We're currently bottom of the National League North. It's only 2 games in, but we haven't managed a goal yet. I'm going tomorrow to watch Hereford away at Buxton, and I'm not confident of that at all. We've got Bracknell Town, also had a decent cup run a few years ago. They've got Dartford. Folkestone Invicta against Sevenoaks Town. Ramsgate against Cray Valley Paper Mills. I think they both had good cup runs recently. They played Ipswich. Yeah, they did. Edward's footy predictions, I'm pretty sure I said 2-1 Buxton earlier for that game tomorrow. Yes, you did. To be honest, I'd take that because I think we're going to lose the game anyway. And I just don't want us to come away without scoring a goal. I think the confidence levels of our forwards, I mean, most of our forward line has left anyway. But I think, yeah, I'd be happy if we get a goal at Buxton. I'd be happy with a dire 0-0, to be honest, because then at least we got a point. The confidence levels at my club can't be very high at the moment. So we've got Faversham Town against Hastings United. Soul Tower Hamlets against Ascot United. Maidstone's run a couple of years ago was brilliant because they beat Ipswich. One of the best FA Cup runs from a non-league club ever. I think they reached something like round 4 or 5, didn't they? Was it round 4 or was it round 5 they got to? We're playing at the 6th tier. Ashley says Hereford going back to the Northern League if they don't buck their ideas up. Yeah, they'd put us, funnily enough, we're in the National League North, but they'd put us in the Southern League Prem Central if we go down. I don't think we'll go down, but if we don't start winning soon, who knows? Hastings United in 2013 reached the 3rd round, losing to Middlesbrough 4-1. Yep, I remember that. Edward's footy prediction says I think they reached round 5, lost 5-0 to Coventry. Yeah, I think it might have been round 5, which is effectively the last 16, isn't it? That's like Hereford getting to round 5. Let's have a look at some of these then. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all of them. There are so many ties. Sittingbourne against AFC Croydon Athletic. I think Sittingbourne... Did Sittingbourne get to the FA Trophy final? No, it wasn't, was it? It was Spennymoor, but I think Sittingbourne were close to the trophy final last season. Love the FA Cup. Didcot Town against Poole Town is a bit of a local derby. Tiverton Town against Taunton Town. I think Roaster is near there, Tiverton, Taunton way. I think that's going to be a hell of a derby in the FA Cup. Tadley, Calaver against Weymouth. Bishop's Cleeve against Wimborne. Gloucester City against Portchester. Mangotsfield United against Banbury United. Gosport against Basingstoke. Falmouth against Brixham. Shaftesbury against Exmouth Town. We've got Plymouth Parkway against Frome Town. And the last one was Tavistock against Alton or Swindon Supermarine. Roaster says Sittingbourne beat Southend. Harry Cornick's from Poole. Do I know Hereford's people to interview them? Sadly not, no. I really want to get an interview with Paul Caddis on this channel at some point. It's a rivalry. Taunton are in Somerset, Barely, and Tiverton are in Devon. Yeah, I thought that was a rivalry. Edward's footy predictions. Why am I so torn for Leeds United v Everton tonight? I think because Sunderland started so well and shocked a few people, that I think you're probably thinking, I can't back the favourites. So, footy predictions. Interestingly, I didn't predict the Premier League this weekend. I'm not doing the predictions this season. I might throw the odd short out there, but it was a bit of a pain keeping track of all of it for the whole season. How many did you get right at the weekend, footy predictions? Roaster has Everton 6th. WLB says West Ham will struggle this season. Well, based off that Saturday, yes, they will struggle. West Ham are in real trouble if they play like that. If you can't see a favourite, Leeds 1, Everton 1. got 2 right this weekend. I mean, that's 2 more than I usually get, so fair play. It's literally what I predicted, 1-1. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's safe, isn't it? If you don't know, just predict a draw. Just go for a draw. Did any of you guys get to games this weekend then? Did you go to Barwell, WLB? Or were they playing, or were they away? Were they at Alvechurch this weekend? Yeah, it's going to be great. They were at Kettering away. Did they throw away a 2-goal lead or something like that? Let's have a look at the results then in the Southern League. I'm going to talk about these now because you got me intrigued. So let's log on. As I've got all my devices plugged in here, I can't use the mouse. I really don't like the touchpad on laptop. So I use my phone to look at the fixtures. Let's look at the Southern League Premier Central. 1-0 up and they made it 2-1. Alvechurch this Saturday. Alvechurch are, I predicted that they'd be in a relegation battle. Alvechurch, I think, are they're doing all right. Beat Sudbury. So in the table, we've got Stratford Town bottom without a single point. Stamford, 21st, 1 point. I thought Stamford, the money they'd spent, they'd be flying in that league, but it is early days. Worcester and Royston also a point each. I thought Worcester might start slow. They might struggle at the beginning. Royston, I thought, would be a bit of a shock. Then we got Leiston in 18th on 2 points. Then there's Barwell, Bromsgrove, Bury, and Sudbury on 3 points each. It's going to be a close league. Roster has Wolves, Brentford, and Burnley to go down. I think that's fair. I still stand by that West Ham are more likely to go down than Wolves. That's what I think. So, Alvechurch, Spalding, St Ives, Rail Bedford, Redditch, and Needham have 4 points each. I think Redditch looking good. Needham Market, average start. Rail Bedford have had a really difficult start. I still think they're going to be good. At the top of the table, we got Banbury United and Stourbridge on 5 points. Then the playoff places: Kettering second, 3 wins out of 3. Harbour Town third. That sounds about right. Quorn. Who would have put Quorn in the playoff places? I knew they'd do well. I knew they'd be hard to beat at home. But I didn't anticipate them starting that well. 2 wins and a draw from their first ever games at Step 3. And they haven't lost an away game for nearly like a year and a half or something. And Hales Owen sitting 5th. I still think they'll win the title with obviously Bishop Stortford at the top. Shall we talk about the Premier League then from this weekend and the Premier League results? What was the standout result in the Premier League for you guys? For me, it has to be, I know Brentford are going to be poor, but for me, Nottingham Forest, the way they started. Yes, WLB, Sunderland winning 3-0. Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Forest Brentford can be the second one. Yeah, Sunderland against West Ham. What a result. Was it a case of West Ham being poor, or were Sunderland really, really good? I didn't see it. I was at Colville. That's a crushing defeat on the opening day. What a result for Sunderland. Ashley says I'd like Kettering to win. I heard some rumours about Kettering's owners getting involved with the squad and sort of tampering with the team and falling out with the manager. I don't know how true they are, but Kettering seem to be okay in that league. I think they'll be strong again. In the Championship, we had some interesting scorelines in the Championship. Derby 3, Coventry 5. How does the Championship table look? Now I cover a lot of non-league football. I keep forgetting to check the the Football League tables. We've got Stoke City top of the league. Derby 3, Coventry 5, or Preston beating Leicester. Yeah, I think Preston beating Leicester probably has to be the pick of those. Wrexham and both Sheffield clubs have lost their opening games. Who would have put Sheffield United? So, in my prediction, I put Sheffield United top of the Championship and Stoke in the bottom 3. And we got Sheffield United bottom. They really are struggling since Chris Wilder left. And I tell you what, Chris Wilder was actually at Hallam yesterday. I was at Hallam yesterday. I didn't see him, but the guy that I was with got there earlier than me, and he said he met Chris Wilder there. So, fair play. I didn't get to see him. Roaster says Wrexham are getting humbled. Is the hatred for Wrexham justified, do you think? I had Sheffield United 3rd and Stoke 17th. I think a lot of people did. I don't think anyone expected Sheffield United to struggle. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. It is really going to be an interesting season. So I've got a matchday vlog coming out. It'll probably come out while I'm on this stream, actually. So Roaster had Sheffield United 3rd, Stoke 17th. Yeah, so Sheffield Wednesday lost both games. I think Sheffield Wednesday is struggling. I don't think they've really got a squad, have they? I think Sheffield Wednesday will go down. Will United recover? Ipswich, 2 draws from the opening 2 games. Leicester, 3 points. Southampton, 4 points. We've got Middlesbrough with 2 wins out of 2. West Brom with 2 wins out of 2. I just spoke to a West Brom fan today from BBC Hereford and Worcester. He was going on about how good West Brom are looking. And my playoffs were Ipswich, Norwich, West Brom, and Birmingham. Can you imagine if that's the playoff lineup? If those teams play each other in the playoffs. Let's go into League One. We've got 1 team with 9 points in League One and 3 teams with no points. Ashley says, I'm surprised. Can they come back and recover? Sheffield United. Yeah, they will. I still think they're going to go up, but they look like they're struggling without Wilder. Why did they sack Chris Wilder? What a baffling decision that was. No idea. Yeah, Plymouth with no points in League One. I know they lost. I think the manager left. They lost a few players. Mustafa Bundu went. Ryan Hardy left. But Plymouth, the way they're going, they're headed down again. Reading bottom. I thought they'd be strong. I had them winning the playoffs. Peterborough, I think we knew were going to be weak. Wickham with 1 point. Port Vale have only got 2 points. Mansfield beat Exeter on Saturday. Exeter 15th. We've got Burton Albion on 4 points already. Wimbledon have won 2 games out of the first 3. Luton, 6 points. Stevenage with 9. What about Doncaster and Bradford? Both coming up to League One, both with 7 points from their opening games. Stockport, I think, are where we expected. Cardiff have started off better than I thought. Barnsley looking good. Blackpool played well against a very good Huddersfield team. Did Blackpool end up beating Huddersfield then? Because they looked dreadful going into that one. Well, that's got to be the pick of the lot, surely, Blackpool beating Huddersfield. League. Doncaster beat Middlesbrough 4-0 in the cup. I know, that was just unreal. That was unreal. Did Middlesbrough rest players, or were Doncaster just immense? Plymouth have got Tom Cleverley as manager. I didn't know that. Let's have a look at League Two. So how embarrassed am I going to be by my predictions? Because I had Barnet winning League Two. Where are Barnet? 3 games played, 3 losses, 22nd in the table, no points. Not looking good for that prediction. -5 goal difference. I said Crawley were going to be poor in League Two this season. I got some backlash on that prediction for saying that Crawley would be poor, but they've lost all 3 games. I think Cheltenham are going to struggle this season. They are bottom at the moment. Shrewsbury, Bristol Rovers, Crawley, Cambridge, 1 win between all of the teams that came down from League One last season. What's going on with the relegated sides? Notts County have got off to a horrible start. Oldham, 2 draws from 3, not too bad. Stevenage unbeaten. They're not only unbeaten, they've won every game. Bromley, 5 points. We got Crewe and Chesterfield have won all the games. MK Dons have got 7 points. Fleetwood in 5th. Scum are getting humbled. Yeah, but with all of the teams down the bottom, like all 4 of the relegated sides from League One, and I said early in my predictions, my early League Two predictions, that the teams that came down from League One were all going to be weak, and I got a backlash for that. I got a real backlash on my channel for saying that. We've got Crawley in the relegation zone with no points, Bristol Rovers with no points, Shrewsbury with 1 point, Cambridge with 4 points. They're doing okay. 1 win between all 4 promoted sides. Not going well. And you can also include the promoted side from the National League. 1 win between all of the teams that came into League Two. Let's take a look at the National League then. Obviously, Morecambe haven't played. They have been saved, which is immense to see that Morecambe are doing so well, that they've actually got a club. Let's face it, Morecambe are going to go down, aren't they? I think what the FA need to do now is suspend a couple more games, not let them play just yet, give them a few more weeks to build a squad, give them special permissions. I don't know if the window for that league's closed, just give them time to sign players. But I think Morecambe are going to need time. Otherwise, they're going to come into this and they're going to get battered every week. But I think their fans are going to take a hammering every week if it means that they've got a club. Ashley says, Blackpool had a player sent off just after Huddersfield scored and I couldn't see the game. I was biting my fingers for the whole half. Yeah, it looked like a good one. Carlisle 3, Boreham Wood 3. Barnet, I think they'll start winning some games. Well, I had Barnet to go up because Dean Brennan did such a good job last season, and usually there's not much difference between the National League and League Two. So we got Southend starting the season as they ended, and we've got Scunthorpe came up from the National League North. They won at the playoffs in the National League North. 2 wins out of 2 in the National League. Rochdale and Wealdstone. Wealdstone I tipped to go down. 2 wins out of 2. Carlisle, Forest Green, York, Hartlepool, 4 points each. Boston and Brackley got off to winning starts. Obviously, they have played 1 game because they were supposed to play Morecambe. Scunny and Southend look like they're a threat. Yeah, I think they will be. I think they'll be up there. I think Scunthorpe are an outside shot for the playoffs. I think it was Footy Predictions that said Scunthorpe are going to go up, and I disagreed with him. He might be right on that. Footy Predictions, Edwards Footy Predictions, sorry. Stevenage have started brilliantly. They have. So we've got 6 teams in the National League that have lost both of their openers. Yeah, you did. And they've started so well. So we got Truro. It's been a difficult start for Truro. Woking have lost theirs. Halifax, I'm surprised at Halifax and Eastleigh losing both their opening games. Tamworth are only part-time. They've lost both their games. Aldershot have lost both of their games. Can Morecambe stay up? I'm going to put the National League North table in, but do I really want to look at the National League North table? Let's look at the top half of the National League North table, because it makes me shudder when I look at the bottom. 4 teams have won all of their opening fixtures so far. Roaster says Morecambe will be 22nd. And their fans would take that. I guarantee their fans would take that. After the summer they've had, and not thinking that they'll be back to watch them play another game, I think Morecambe fans will take that. The big surprise in the National League North is that newly promoted Merthyr have won 2 out of 2 games. Footy Predictions says, I'd love to see Morecambe stay up. I think the whole country would love to see Morecambe stay up. Chorley have won both their openers. That's not good news for us because we play them next Saturday. Spennymoor have won their openers, including a win against us. South Shields were poor last season, but they've won their opening 2 games. Kings Lynn, 4 points. They took 3 off us. Kidderminster Harriers, 4 points. They're going to be up there. And then there's not that many teams that are unbeaten already at this point. Merthyr outsider for the playoffs. They're looking strong, and I think they go into this league as a bit of an unknown. I had Merthyr going back down. Darlington, outside chance for the playoffs for me. They've won 1 and lost 1. Macclesfield, 1-1, lost 1. Yeah, if Merthyr go up, that would be mad, actually. Fylde, 3 points. Oxford City, Buxton have got 3 points. We go there tomorrow. We have to get something from Buxton, don't we? How likely? Come on, let's be honest with me, guys. Are Hereford going to get anything at Buxton tomorrow? Buxton 11th with 3 points. Hereford bottom without a single goal. Can we get something from Buxton? No. I like the confidence. Probably not. Yeah, you share my optimism or lack of there. Chester have got 3 points. Telford have come in fairly solidly with 2 draws. Curzon Ashton, 2 draws. Bedford Town have got a point. Worksop have got a point. Leamington, Alfreton. What are the fixtures looking like tomorrow then? Because if we win tomorrow at this early stage of the season, we could jump up about 5 places. I don't think we'll get a point until not next weekend, the weekend after when we play Radcliffe. I'm not convinced we'll even score a goal. I watched Hereford pre-season and I watched us at Alvechurch and we didn't look like we were going to score. We didn't score. 0-0 draw. That was with 10 men though. Telford go to Bedford tomorrow. Chester play Curzon. Kidderminster, Oxford City. Merthyr play Marine, so Merthyr could get another 3 points there. Radcliffe against Worksop, Southport, Macclesfield, Spennymoor, Kings Lynn, I think has to be the pick of those. Ashley says I'll be going for Chorley to beat Hereford. You guys love to rub it in, don't you? I'm going to that one. So I'm going to Buxton tomorrow. And I'm going to Edgar Street to watch Hereford Chorley on Saturday. It's got... The Chorley game has got a 1-0 away win written all over it. Just we don't create chances, and that's what we get for letting Alex Baybos and Jason Cowley leave. You don't get chances. All right, National League North depresses me. Let's look at South. Chorley to win 2-0. Roaster, thank you. At least someone with a bit of optimism. Roaster says I think the score will be Hereford 1, Chorley 0. If we get 3 points from the next 2 fixtures, everything will feel like it's okay. Because I've been saying since the fixtures came out, with a horrible run of fixtures, that we'll have no points after 4 games. National League South. There is only one team who's lost all of their games, and that is newly promoted Horsham. Ashley says Chorley to win 3-1. I mean, if we score a goal, I'll take that. Oh, there's a lot of teams on 1 point. From 13th down to 23rd in the National League South, all have 1 point. Edward's Footy Prediction says, although I think Hereford will beat Radcliffe 5-0. If we lose the next 2 fixtures, then we have to put in a performance like that against Radcliffe. We have to give them a hiding. But just think of this way, though. If we lose the next 2, the confidence levels are going to be so low. They're going to be so low for the Hereford lot. National League South. Who would have put AFC Totton at the top after 2 games? We got Ebbsfleet with 6 points. Dagenham haven't yet won a game. New Qatari owners haven't yet won a game. Drew 0-0 at Salisbury. So Dagenham haven't actually scored a goal yet, like us, only they've drawn one instead of lost both. Andy Carroll hasn't managed a goal in the National League South yet. Let's have a look at the Southern League Prem Central. I said Dagenham will go down and haven't started very well. Maybe that'll be right. Andy Carroll is rubbish anyway. I think we said on the last live, the thing with Dagenham and Redbridge, though, is if they are struggling, the owners have got enough money to... I don't really know how the transfer windows work at this level, whether they are under that restriction of a transfer window. I think National League are, but I think below that they're not. If Dagenham start off poorly, then they will just throw a bit of money at it. So it would be a huge shock if they get anything less than the playoffs. Southern League Prem Central. This is probably my favourite league. So no midweek games for the Southern Prem Central this week. But we've got 2 fixtures this weekend. So we've got Sudbury playing Quorn. I think Quorn will get another 3 points there. Barwell against Alvechurch. Tim Flowers going to Barwell. Ashley says, I can't see Dagenham going down, but yes, their start is bad. I'm glad I don't want them to go up. Yeah, that was always the worry with a team that comes straight back down. If you're going to bounce straight back up, especially against established sides like Torquay, who are going to be strong in the league, Chelmsford have spent a lot of money. They need to get off to a good start, and they haven't. So they need to start winning. Harbour play St Ives on Saturday, Leaston against Redditch, Bromsgrove against Needham, Rail Bedford against Kettering. WLB says, I'll take a point against Alvechurch. Yeah, they're looking strong. They're looking good at the back as well. Are you going to that one? Going to Barwell Alvechurch? Rail Bedford Kettering has to be the pick of them. Royston against Banbury. Stamford against Hales Owen as well. Starbridge Spalding. Stratford Bishop Stortford. That's bottom against top. Worcester against Bury Town. Some interesting fixtures there. And then on bank holiday, we got Alvechurch against Stratford. Banbury against Starbridge. Bishop Stortford against Royston. Bury Town plays Sudbury. You will be going. Tim Flowers at Barwell. Fair enough, WLB. Being a Newcastle fan, I'll take a point against Liverpool next week. Took a point off from last season. Hales Owen play Worcester. That's the game I'm going to on Monday. Kettering play Harbour. Oh, that's a great tie. Needham Market against Leaston, I think, is a bit of a derby. Quorn against Barwell. Do you travel with Barwell, WLB? Redditch against Bromsgrove is a bit of a derby. St Ives against Rail Bedford, Stamford, Spalding. So there's some good derby matches in there. Some really good derby matches in there. Well, I did say that this live was going to be shorter than normal. It hasn't been. It's still been on here for nearly an hour. I might go to Quorn, not too far away. It's a really nice setup at Quorn. Not many teams are going to go and win there. How many teams in this league play on a 3G pitch? Quorns is relatively new and the surface is really good. If you get a chance, guys, check out the matchday vlog from Hallam, which will be going out in 10 minutes' time. Barwell play on 3G. Oh, yeah, they'll be used to it then, going to Quorn. Going to be a tough place to go. I think only the likes of maybe Harborough, Rail Bedford are going to really trouble them at home. Quorn have got a really strong squad. They can't be underestimated. Right, guys, I'm going to end the live stream shortly. If there's anything else you want to add to the live chat, now's the time, as I'm going to log off. I'm headed into the gym shortly, hence the gym clothes. Quorn versus Barwell will be good. Yes, it will. Yeah, they're going to be. I said they'd be strong this season, but didn't expect them to start this strong. Bye, WLB. See you on the next one. So there won't be a live stream on Friday this week because I'm going to Hereford and I'll be at Hales Owen on Monday. So there won't be a live stream on Monday either. I might do one on Thursday. Depends how I feel and depends how much interest there is in it. If I don't do one on Thursday, then I will be doing one next Tuesday. So if you're watching and not commenting, I know it is on subscribers mode anyway. If you're watching and not commenting, feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you've got any other people that are involved with YouTube, share the channel around. Get this channel's name out there. Ashley says, I always want Gateshead to go up. They've been close so many times. Yeah, I don't think this is the season, though. They've lost a lot of their players. Unfortunately, Gateshead, I think they'll be mid-table. And I need... Edward's footy prediction says, I think Gateshead will go up this season. That is a bold one. I need to check out Roaster's vlog as well, so I will check that out this evening and have a look. I'll give you a comment on that. Edward's footy prediction stands by that. You know what? I really like that. Just because I've disagreed with you, stand by it. It's an opinion. I do like that. And so far, I think your predictions are better than mine anyway. Right, guys, I'm going to end the live stream there. Thanks for joining. It's been a brilliant one today. We had quite a few people on at one point. Good luck to all of your teams this week and the weekend, and I will catch you in the next one early next week.